What you drinking there, Hambo?
I am drinking good old squash of the orange variety. What I did is I took an orange and I went, and then I filled it with water. I filled the juice bits that I got out of it with water, and then I got this.
Yeah, it looks. I was gonna say for orange squash, it looks very very pale.
I like my squash a bit weaker. I'm not one of those people that goes big or go home. You know, some people, when you ask them to make you squash, they'll give you like 3 inches of squash and then the rest water. That's bad.
That's too much. I don't think I could handle 3 inches, Hamish. If it came down to it.
I know from experience that I can't handle 3 inches of squash.
Of squash. Okay.
I hate you, Wilkie.
I hate you too, Hamish. That's what.
Wilkie, you've taken this sacred podcast, you've defiled it with your dirty, dirty crude jokes. We've never made a crude joke before this, Wilkie, and you've ruined it.
I've ruined it, and I've picked it up like a farmed good in Stardew Valley. I've held it over my head, and I've chucked it off a cliff.
Well, Wilkie, that's where all the crude jokes go, and I guess we're now going to have to throw our podcast down there too.
Well,
big sad.
Time to play the theme tune.
Did you actually hit your head?
I pulled my headphones out. I can't hear you. Okay, I'm back. That looks really good. Let's sync.
Oh yeah, you want it snappy. Okay.
Snappy's easier for me, but obviously you're the one doing it. So if stretched out is easier for you, go for it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the show we like to do here at the weekends, or as you call it, Thursday. It's, of course, Boi Review, hosted by me, Hamish.
And me, Wilkie. Hey there, folks.
Hello. I don't know why I said hello. Am I folks? Hopefully I'm folks.
Yeah, you're included in folks, Hamish. I say hello to you. This hour or so of time that we spend every week chatting to each other is one of the only times we talk. It's this and our D&D game.
Yeah, we need to hang out more. We're both very busy with our lives.
We really are, because you've got an actual job.
You have like 20 D&D games as well.
Yeah, you've got an actual job. Most of my evenings are taken up with D&D, or like I work best in the evenings, so like I'll be like writing or whatever.
But we are planning to see each other quite a bit. We've started sorting out a holiday with our group of friends. So hopefully I've taken a whole 7 days off work for that holiday.
You've saved up all of that, all of that holiday time.
Well, I actually technically get unlimited time off at work, Wilkie.
Because you work from home?
No, it's a benefit of my company is you get quote unquote unlimited time off. But the way they normally describe it is that means that you'll get sort of like, it's what your manager says. And normally managers like, okay, you get the usual like 25 days holiday a year. But then if other stuff comes up, say a common was like, let's say an elderly relative is ill and you have to take time off work to go and look after them, you then don't have to worry about that counting as your holiday. They understand that those are different things. So it's like, if you have to take then like 5 days off, you don't have to cancel a Christmas vacation that you've booked, because then your holiday entitlement's gone. It's like,
that's nice. That's good. I feel like that should be the standard.
Yeah, it's apparently not uncommon in America. For some companies, like that's kind of how they operate it at some levels, though apparently as well, it can also mean for like some of these big tech companies that have unlimited time off, for a while, no one would take time off, or they would take less time off because they don't have that sort of thing like, oh, I've got 25 days, use it or lose it.
Yeah, I got to use my 25 days.
it can get through the whole year and they'd be like, I've just only taken 2 weeks off because there's been no pressure on them to go not work.
Because they know they can have it when they need it, so they don't feel the need to take it when they don't need it, just for the sake of taking it.
Yeah, so
that's really cool. That's really cool.
At my job, they're just like, make sure you take it, and they're very proactive about reminding us to take time off because there's some very stressful times of the year that we'll need to recuperate from.
Yeah, and I'd imagine like as a video game journalist, like sort of the meta crunch of like, you know, so-and-so game company is crunching to get a game finished and you then need to crunch to get your review of the crunchy game finished. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's that, and as well with like the tech side of things as well. Things like Black Friday, Black Friday, big event of the year, like all of November is just talking about tech deals and being like, okay, here's the good tech, here's the bad tech. Here's like what is actually a good deal, because whenever Black Friday comes along, you're always thinking like, okay, this thing is £50 off. Is that actually good, or is that a shit thing? And I want to get the thing that might only be £20 off, but that a little bit extra that I'm having to spend is worth it, and all of that nebulous of everything. And apparently that's a lot, because everywhere, all over the internet, is doing some kind of deal for everything.
So you got to be super on top of it. You got to make sure that you're paying attention to like everywhere. And it's like, well, Amazon has a deal, but that deal like will end at this time. So if that time's passed, then go here or whatever. That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's because Amazon and a bunch of others do like lightning deals and all the rest of it. So it's trying to keep
lightning deals
on top of it. But speaking of Amazon, Wookie, that segues into something I've done this week.
I was about to segue, but go for it. Damn it, you got there just before me.
This is the first week in probably like since I started at uni where I haven't had Amazon Prime.
Whoa.
I've stopped subscribing to Amazon Prime, and because you know Amazon Prime, it's pretty useful, right? You order something, it'll be with you the next day, and you get some videos. You get a lot of those fun videos.
There've been times where Amazon Prime has genuinely like saved me, right? Really obscure light bulbs in our house, like 3 of them went on one day. We had light in the living room the next day. My flatmate Sophie's phone charger stopped working, had a new phone charger the following morning. Just there. It's good. It's good.
And it's good, but I realized I just wasn't using it very much anymore. Like during lockdown, very much did subscribe to the shopping therapy. Was it buying therapy? What is it?
Retail therapy.
Retail therapy. I knew there was a term for it. Of sort of like, I lockdown, feeling a bit down, I'm gonna buy things. Not expensive things. I just like a package coming to my door. I don't care what's in the package. It only costs me like £2. It's fun to sort of rip open the box. Make sure to put the box in the recycling.
Yeah, because what's actually in that package is like serotonin. Yeah. You get that little burst of like a present.
And so it was Amazon Prime was so useful to me. And you know, we've talked about the Bois. I watched that with Izzy in the past. We talked about the Bois on the show, and that's also on Amazon Prime, and that'll be coming back. So I'm sure when that's back, I'll resubscribe. I just sort of realized I'm not using it so much anymore. I feel like there's that part of that drive when you've got it that you have to use it, sort of like the use it or lose it style thing. And so but then I was like, no, I'm rebelling from this. I don't need to order like some random thing from Amazon anymore. I can pull through this on my own, go my own way, as the song says.
Yes, you're so strong, Hamish. You're so brave.
You like Amazon Prime?
I do like Amazon Prime, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had it? Because I think the uni was just in it, but I think it was actually impossible to get it delivered because of like you had to use the lockers. But did you ever use like the same day delivery or like the 1 hour delivery they sometimes do on certain items?
I think I got same day delivery on something at some point. It might have even been that phone charger. I think I ordered it at like, it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I got same day delivery, so like it was there like the same day, you know, like when you're at a sleepover and it's like technically it's tomorrow, guys, and they're like, oh, shut up, and the person who's
everyone
no
punches
fun.
him.
Yeah, it was technically that like it was like the same day, but like you slept in between.
Okay. Because Amazon does do like, I find it astounding. They do like 1 hour delivery. So it's not, rather than like 24 hours, we'll be there before the clock strikes. We'll be there to give you your item.
Yeah, that's in I think in places like New York. I think for like
it's and big cities,
specific things that like it's at that point you might as well just like get like Uber Eats, but like, oh, can you also pick me up an iPhone charger on your way here?
Just like swing into Mackey's and then just like drive by that Tesco over there, hop in, grab a charger, hop out.
Yeah,
I mean that might be the future of things.
Just getting other like I feel like all of the like various like self-employment services. So yeah, things like Deliveroo, Uber, where yeah, you basically just pay other people to do stuff for you. Like I feel like that's just gonna grow. And that's going to get more advanced until we've just come full circle and we're now at just a barter society. Society falls apart. No one's paying the actual person to do anything. You're all like, not subsidizing. Like you're outsourcing everything to other people. And there's just this big circle until like someone outsources something to you.
Yeah, so it's like, I want a guy to go and get me my takeaway. That guy needs somebody else to get something for him, and it all comes together.
It comes full circle until you're getting your own takeaway. I'm
getting somebody something. Yeah, and getting your own takeaway is fine.
That's fine.
But I can see I quite like it, though. There is a thing in America, I think, where some fast food restaurant, it might be Taco Bell, is making a delivery only takeaway restaurant. So there's no restaurant. It's just like it's just only drive-through, but it's got I think 4 or 5 bays, and the kitchen sits above the restaurant, and it's like a proposed design. The kitchen would sit above the bays, and they sort of lower the food down with you on like a dumbwaiter.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because I feel like you don't go to a place like Taco Bell or like a Taco Bell. You don't go to a place like that to like sit in a restaurant, right? This isn't Pizza Express. This isn't Carluccio's.
No.
We're not fancy.
It's like McDonald's. It's like you McDonald's. I love just all these new options. You can go to the drive-thru, or you can just sit in one of the bays outside with in your car, and they'll just bring your food to you, and then you can leave. And it's just great. So I can just sit on my phone, watch some video, and then someone gives me my food, and I can drive off. Or I can sit there and eat the food, still enjoying my video.
Yeah, and I think because with the design that you're talking about there, they get to have a lot more kitchen space and like actually serve people far more quickly, which is really what you want, because it's a quick service restaurant. As this is turning into a Munch Squad from my brother and me, but like quick service eating restaurants, whatever they call it. Like it's fast food, right? The point is to get it out quickly, and so if you don't have to waste any space on fancy tables and chairs, you can actually just serve people far more quickly.
Yeah, and in terms of like serving people, that's really important, because one of my mates at school, she worked for McDonald's. It was like a part-time job, and she told us that there's quite a short time period. It's like only a few minutes, and if they haven't got your food ready in that time, you can request a full refund or at least a partial refund. And it's surprisingly small, but no one ever calls them up on it.
Well, because you feel bad, wouldn't you? Like lots of people who work at McDonald's, like it's the joke is that like no, you're not good enough for this job. Go work at McDonald's, right? It's a very common like starter job, like a just an easy to get into part-time job. But it's definitely not like unskilled, and like the people there are working hard, and you'd feel bad. Your food's 2 minutes late, and it's like, that's no skin off your nose, but the people in the restaurant, the people in the kitchen are like making 10 burgers at once and trying to, get milkshakes out so they're not melted or whatever. Like,
yeah, that's why, even if it's been like 10 minutes, sometimes it can be really bad at certain periods of the day, particularly depending on what you order. Like, I can know that if you order the wraps and the milkshakes, like I do often, then you're waiting longer. But you can't tell someone like, please give me my full refund, because this £4 meal came to me slightly colder than I wanted it to. So I want that £4 back.
Go somewhere else if that's how you're going to behave.
Though I am very glad I don't live opposite. I don't. Well, either my bus doesn't get off opposite of McDonald's, or we don't live on the same road as a McDonald's anymore, because that is. Oh, actually, no. It's now worse because I live like a minute drive from McDonald's. So rather than walking down the road to pick it up, I just drive and get it.
Yeah, you don't even get the exercise of walking.
That's. I was thinking like, oh, I have McDonald's less, but actually I don't have McDonald's any less. I'm addicted. It's a proper problem. And I don't even get that semblance of exercise. Because also, like, the distance from where we used to live to the McDonald's, it was like a good test of will. Because, like, it wasn't super far away, but it was surprisingly long, considering it was both on the same road. And it's just sort of like, are you willing to do that?
There was a level of commitment. And then at some point, you would just decide to get Uber Eats instead.
I was thinking you just, use what's actually in your fridge.
No, Uber Eats.
Are you still blacklisted from Uber Eats?
Oh, I fully might be, yeah. From second year.
After...
Because it was when we were playing Masks in my second year house, and we got like this big order of McDonald's that we were all going to eat while we played this RPG. And this was like the third or fourth McDonald's order in a row where they'd like left out a key component of my food, like mostly like the main thing. So like I'd ordered a wrap meal and there just wasn't a wrap.
Yeah, I think every time it was a different person as well. So it just meant their fries and their drink were still there, but the one of the main things was gone. It's like this is just sad now. What am I going to do?
Yeah. And again, like the people working in McDonald's obviously are working very hard, but also there's a difference between my food was 5 minutes late and I didn't get my food.
Yeah. Well, apparently what can happen is, I think lots of people that talk on the service talk about this, so I'm just going to rehash information that people probably already know. But like the drivers apparently can be a bit of an issue. It's not uncommon for them to like munch at food, because the driver isn't the one that gets punished for it. It's the restaurant. So someone I knew worked at Nando's. She said that it was really common that things like the fries wouldn't get to the customer. And so they'd have to send out another load of fries and they'd have to eat the cost of that. So, and it would cost them way extra, because like restaurants lose money if you do things like Uber Eats, or don't make as much money if you do things like Uber Eats. And so then having to then refill it a second time, they can sometimes end up losing money on an order, or at least parts of an order, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, it was a big problem. So it's entirely possible that the driver stole it all 4 times.
Just eating my entire wrap. That's such a ballsy move. Like some fries, right? So say there's like 6 of you and there's only 5 things of fries in the bag, right? That's excusable, right? They're working, they're overworked, and they're just packing them into a bag and sending it out, right?
Yeah.
And so like, if you're the driver who wants to steal some food, that's a reasonable thing to steal, right? Because no one's really gonna pick up on it.
No one's gonna notice. It's just sort of like, okay, my chips aren't there. We'll just like throw them all together in a big pot. Who cares? We'll all share.
But then, literally my wrap. I got that wrap yesterday as well.
Ooh,
because we went to the old library for Sophie's birthday. And
how was going out, Wilkie? That's the first. Wilkie, you've actually done something during the week. The first week I didn't really ask you, like, what have you been up to? You've actually been able to go out and do things.
This is true, yes.
Wilkie, what have you been up to this week?
I went out to a pub for the first time in a long time.
What is this pub you speak of?
It's a public house. I
feel like it's something from the Forgotten Worlds.
Yeah. So we booked ahead of time. We booked the day after Sophie's birthday as a surprise. So we went and we signed in with the NHS app, and being nice and safe, checking, make sure we don't come into contact with anyone. Seems to have gone okay, so I think we're safe. And yeah, we put a £10 deposit down, and then that £10 went towards our first round of drinks. So we got I think it was 2 porn star martinis and 2 something else's. It was very nice drinks, like with whiskey and amaretto in them. I can't remember what they're called. Godfathers, that's what they're called. Godfather.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, so Malix and I had Godfathers, and then Sophie and Malix's girlfriend Megan had porn star martinis, because that those are the sorts of drinks that men and women drink Men drink dark alcohol, Godfather. And then the porn star martini that comes with like a little shot glass of Prosecco to pour in so it stays fizzy. Nice.
That's cool. I kind of want to drink that. I want to drink all of them.
Yeah.
I want to drink all of them.
I'm of course joking. But yeah, we got what did we get? We got some nachos and a tower of onion rings for the table. It was very good. It's brilliant, yeah.
That sounds good.
It looked a bit suspicious after you'd eaten the onion rings, because it was just this big greasy plastic pole that was left on the table.
Oh, was it, like Hoopla, where they have a slight thing away? Do you think that's how they do it? They just have this
probably.
Greasy plastic pole and they just fling the onion rings onto it. They stop when no more get on. So at first, when they sold it, you'd only get like one or two. But now they are managing to actually fill the whole tower.
They've got really good. Yeah, they've got really good at onion ring hoopla. And then we got pitchers. We got 4 pitchers of cocktails. We got 2 more pitchers of Godfather stuff and some pitchers of what was it? Sex on the Beach. That was it. And it was such a good night. I've also haven't been that drunk in a very long time. Yeah,
it makes me really want to go out again and do all of that. As things open up, I definitely want to do that with you guys and do a few other bits. Hopefully I'll come down at some point. I was planning to come down this weekend, but things got in the way, which was a bit annoying.
It's too bad.
Yeah, but because it's weird things opening up again. It's sort of I think, so one of my mates has just got a new job, and so it was like, oh, we should go out to celebrate. And it's weird to think, oh yeah, we can do that now. We could meet up outside at a pub and be there drinking together. Is okay again after what feels like a year of that not being allowed.
Yeah, more than a year.
I think it was a brief period in the summer where you could meet up in
there
groups,
was.
But yeah, it's still
COVID as a thing has been going on for more than a year.
Yeah, this
is ridiculous.
It's crazy. Yeah, it is ridiculous. It's taken this long to sort of get things sorted, but it's okay. We're nearly at the end of it. Though I don't know when I'm going to get my jab, because I don't know where my doctor is. I keep forgetting to register. Brilliant. So at the time of recording, Mum and Dad, I still haven't registered. I will do it eventually. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to call them up, go in person, do everything. I think I'm probably registered here. But my last official doctor was at the uni, and I don't really want to have to drive all the way to Coventry to get a vaccine and then have to drive all the way home.
That's fair. Speaking of parents, I will say if my parents are listening, for legal reasons, everything I said about drinking alcohol was a joke. I don't do that. I'm a nice young man. I drink apple alcohol. Juice. Nothing but apple juice.
Alcohol is... See, I've been way more boring, Wookie. Do you know what my bank holiday weekend was filled with?
What was your bank holiday weekend filled with?
Hitman. I finally beat all the Hitman levels I was trying to beat. And
nice. I
watched season 3 of Castlevania on Netflix. So I think season 4 is coming out next month, and I've not seen it yet.
I need to catch up. Wait, I started watching... I might have started watching season 2.
Season 1 is like real short. It's 3 episodes. Season 2 is proper long. They go and fight Dracula.
Okay, so I watched 1 and 2 then. I still need to watch 3.
Yeah, 3 is the end. The end episodes are a bit weird, not gonna lie.
Okay.
It's a not safe for work show with all the blood and gore. But it gets particularly not safe for work in episode 7 of the 8 or episode 9 of the 10. I can't remember. It's the second to last episode. That's such a weird way of saying that. The 7 of 8.
It sounds like the name of a Borg drone, like 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It's like this is there is a thing that's like 7 of 9 or whatever.
That's what we should start calling ourselves. You can be 1 of 2 and I will be 2 of 2.
Oh yeah, we're pair of people. But it's a fun show. It's really cool. Considering that video game adaptations of stuff often has the idea of being a bit cruddy, not good. There's only a couple of good video game adaptations out there, and most of them are only meh. Like, they're not great. This is actually really good. It's got some strong voice actors in it, and the animation on point. It feels like it cuts the right balance of being a bit like it does animation the right way. Like it looks quite realistic, but then obviously it being animated lets them pull off crazy things and it look weird. Like one of the main characters can shoot fire and create ice out of nowhere, and that would like a CG nightmare in actual real things.
I've forgotten the bloody guy's name, but with his whip, or with his like big chain whip thing.
Yeah,
that just
wouldn't look good.
It would look really janky in CGI because he'd have the whip, like he'd have a whip prop, and then he'd like let it loose, and it would suddenly get keyframed out and turned into a CGI whip, and like it wouldn't move properly. But because it's all animated, everything moves the same, so it all feels natural.
Yeah, and I think one of the cooler ideas are the Forge Masters. They're these people that can turn the recently deceased into these beasts from hell, and they sort of briefly turn on fire and then become covered in fur. And again, that would look Twilight levels of CG as something turns from human into not human. What I think is quite cool about Forge Masters is the idea that it's only human magic. And I think that, again, that's something which doesn't exist in a lot of fantasy, at least like a lot of the fantasy role playing that we do, where it's just like only humans can do this. And then vampires, they can do magic, but they can do that kind of magic, and it's different. And so it's kind of an interesting idea about how, because particularly in this world where it's sort of like humans versus vampires, it makes a lot of sense. It's like Forge Masters are a great way to make an army of beasts that get on well with vampires, but vampires can't do it. So normally vampires obviously have to drain the blood out of humans, but then they have to keep some of these humans alive to create their army for them. And it's this big push and pull of like whether it's worth teaming up or not teaming up. Can they trust each other? At the end of the day, are they going to betray you? All of this, and it's quite political intrigue for a show as well.
Yeah, I remember getting into that a bit at like the start of season 3, and I don't know why I just didn't commit to watching it, and so I watched I think 1 or 2 episodes of season 3.
Yeah, I can't remember what. I feel like there was something happening at the time when season 3 came out. There was just like something in my life was just like, oh, I'm busy, I'll watch it at some point, and then wait a year. And then finally it's like, oh, I should probably do this because season 4's coming out really soon. And I want to know what's going on.
Hear me out. It might have come out around exam season.
Oh, yeah. It could have come out when I was doing my dissertation. I'm like, I can't. No. There's so much TV, Wilkie. Can you believe how much TV there is?
I don't think I can.
Okay, wait. We've not
reviewed anything.
Okay, what have we talked about the show already? Wilkie, we've forgotten the second part of our show. The review.
We're just boys. What was the first thing we talked about? Because then we got distracted by. We talked about. You segued into talking about McDonald's.
I think, and Amazon Prime. I talked about Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. That's it.
Okay, let's start with Amazon Prime and work our way through. Amazon Prime.
I think Amazon Prime. I don't think Amazon Prime can get a good. I think because it's. There's problems with Amazon that we're not qualified to talk about at such short notice. There's. Like Amazon Prime makes sort of sometimes feels like it compels you to buy things that you don't need just because you have access to it. But also it's useful, it's helpful because you can get things quickly that like sometimes you get things that you really do need and you get them nice and quickly. Yeah,
so what would that be? Would we say a bad good or a good bad? It's 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4?
I'm thinking good bad, 2 out of 4.
2 out of 4. Okay, good bad. I quite like good bad. I was on the fence about both of them, so I'm going to take that as a thing.
Wait,
then we talked about McDonald's.
Did you say on the fence or on the vents, like in Among Us?
I said I was on the fence, but
I saw Hamish fence. He had a long twangy sword and everything.
Mackey's. Now, Wookie, I love Mackey's. I don't care what anyone says. I'm giving Mackey's a good.
That's fair. I'm inclined to agree with you.
It's just what I need in my life 95% of the time. I don't care if it's bad for me. I don't care if I have an early death because of the amount of Mackies I eat. I'm taking that bullet head on. I'm looking it in the eye and I'm just like, yes, come at me.
You're looking at the bullet and you're eating a Big Mac at the same time.
It's like in Super Hot where time freezes when you don't move. And I can just see the bullet coming towards me and I'm just waving my hand, waiting for it to get really close. And I'm thinking I'm going to get out of the way, but if my usual games of Super Hot or anything to go by, I won't. I'll forget.
Can you take bullets out of the air in Super Hot? Like, if it gets close enough, can you reach out and just grab it out of the sky?
I don't think so.
Can you chop them in half with a katana?
You can. My favorite thing is in levels where they give you a hammer, is just to go like, boop, and just boop each bullet as it comes towards me. Oh, I've got a pizza. This is good.
You're getting pizza mid-recording? That's bullshit.
Ayo, pizza. So Mackie's gets that. Izzy stolen one of my pizza slices and given me a pepperoni. She didn't think I'd notice until she left the room. No, Izzy, I bought myself a very vegetable-y pizza.
I saw, there's broccoli
only
on it.
veg and broccoli and mushrooms and all the rest of it. And one of these pizza slices has 3 pieces of pepperoni on it. It doesn't fit in the pizza. It's very wonky. And the crust is all different. Wilkie, look at this. Look.
Yeah, I noticed the veggie pizza is very like white and green because it's got some sort of cheese sauce on it. But then the pepperoni pizza is orange.
It's entirely different.
She thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
No, but I do. Because I'm on it, Wilkie. You got to be on it with people. You got to just know.
You got to be on it with pizza.
So we did Mackie's, and then did we do anything else? You must have talked about something.
Then you talked about Castlevania.
Oh, Castlevania. Yeah,
Season 3.
You know, even though this, like, the ending was a bit weird, I also thought it was very cool. Like, it was something a bit different to what they'd done before. So I'm willing to give that, like, still a good, because it's just such a fun show. I really enjoyed watching it.
My chair is so cool. Creaky today. I keep leaning back and it makes a loud creak, so I'm sorry if you have to edit that out. Don't bother editing it out, actually. Now I've addressed it, we can just leave it in.
That's the thing. Just as long as you own up to your mistakes, you can do what you want. Oh, there was something I was going to say before Izzy came in with the pizza and so rudely interrupted this podcast recording with food. It was disgusting when she came in. Hated it. There's something else that I did. I thought, like, we haven't talked about this on the show, and I wanted to talk about it.
I don't know what it was you're going to say. I have the thing I was going to segue into at the start of the show.
Yeah, what were you going to segue into, Wilkie? I've talked a lot about Mackie's and Castlevania, all the things that are going to kill me.
Yeah. This thing might also kill me eventually, with stress. We were talking about having to pay close attention to things at the start of the show. And I was going to say, you know what you need to pay really close attention to? You need to always... That's an entire slice of pizza in Hamish's mouth. Something you have to pay very close attention to, be very detail-oriented, is a show called Jane the Virgin. It's on Netflix. You're nodding knowingly. Have you seen it?
I think I saw the first episode. Isn't it she has a kid, but she's never had sex?
This is going to be a review primarily of season 1. I'm most of the way through season 2 at the moment, but I haven't got thoughts about it yet. So spoilers for season 1 of Jane the Virgin, but also they're going to be fairly broad strokes. So, like, this is the plot of the show, essentially, that they set up in season 1. So, yes, Jane Villanueva and her family, they all live in this house in Miami, and Jane works as a waitress at a hotel. The owner of the hotel is a man named Raphael, who she met 5 years earlier and had a crush on. They had a brief fling at like a camp of some kind, or like they were both on holiday in a different city and they met and had this brief fling, and then they come back. He's married and there's all this stuff going on, and Jane goes to her gynecologist for a routine. I think it's called a pap smear.
They go pap 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 pap, and then the doctor comes in and be like, "Get out of here!
What are you doing?"
Chases someone out. Chases an intern out that doesn't know what they're doing.
So, that's not how you do it. They're just like patting you on the head. Pap pap. Stay healthy. Pap, 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 pap.
And just rub your hair.
Stay healthy. And then you go. But while Jane is there, Raphael's wife is also there, and she is there because Raphael cancer briefly a few years ago and froze his sperm, and she is there to be artificially inseminated. The doctor is Raphael's half-sister who has a drinking problem. She is incredibly hungover, and she messes up her notes. and artificially inseminates Jane with Raphael's sperm. Crazy stuff.
I'm doing
mouthful of
I'm
pizza.
doing big eyes.
Yeah. So that's episode 1 pretty much.
This sounds like is it like a telenovela?
That's
like
exactly what it is. It's a
Spanish
telenovela.
soap opera.
Yeah. And it is wild. So I cannot summarize it right in this review because so much stuff happens, but
don't bother. Just like that sounds so good. And so is it just continual?
It's just layers upon layers of
like
drama.
That?
So yeah, she's obviously having Raphael's baby, but Raphael is married to Petra. So how's that gonna work? Turns out Petra was only with him for the money in the first place. He works this out and divorces her. Jane breaks up with her with her boyfriend. Raphael proposes, then her ex-boyfriend Michael proposes. There's so much going on, and all of it is there's this voice, right? There's like a voiceover, right, who does the recap at the start of every episode, which
I vaguely remember, and he's got this great voice, doesn't he? He's like kind of deep Spanish, a bit sassy.
Yeah, he's great. So he's credited in the subtitles, like when he starts talking, as the Latin lover narrator, and so he's like he's always like making these little comments, we'll start an episode and he'll be like, right, let's go. Recap time. And he's brilliant. He makes the show for me. And it's just so Jane the Virgin has become the show that me and Malix and Megan watch when Sophie's had to go to bed because she has work the next day. It's like our thing we watch when Sophie's not around because we didn't want to like end up starting a bunch of things and have them like end up excluding Sophie from them because she can't watch them because she has to go to bed early for work, right? So this is our thing, and we watch like 2 or 3 episodes an evening, and the cliffhangers. I've said before, if I can run one session of D&D that has as much like interconnectedness and leaves on such a cliffhanger as any episode of Jane the Virgin, I'll be so happy. There's so much drama, and just when you think they can't like ramp it up anymore, like, oh, we're about to resolve the thing, right? Because obviously when she has this baby, that feels like it gets resolved, but no, it just creates like 10 other problems. The baby gets fucking kidnapped by a drug lord the day he's born.
No way!
And obviously that's a spoiler.
That's insane.
But like,
that's crazy. Because I thought for a second there you were going to be like, the reveal at the end is that the doctor was so drunk that she hadn't actually inseminated Jane with Raphael's baby. It was someone else's baby.
A third person's baby. No, it's so much goes on. And there's this brilliant thing they do, right? And I want to do this at some point. Like I've said, like in like a story or in a D&D game, they will show you part of a conversation. So for example, there's Raphael, and then Raphael has a half brother as well as a half sister, right? And so we see Raphael talking to the police about going and looking at his half brother's boat. And so we see that conversation, and then we see like people sneaking onto a boat in the middle of the night, right? And we're like, oh, he's talked to the police, and they've because he says to the policeman like, oh, you're not above bending the rules, like I know you, like I know that you would do it without a warrant. And then we see people searching the boat, like, okay, the police, they're searching it without a warrant. Stressful tension, right? And then later on, Raphael gets a text from a private investigator, and the Latin lover narrator is like, let's explain this, shall we? And we go back to the end of the conversation with the policeman, and the policeman says, no, I'm not doing it. Like, I won't do it without a warrant. And Raphael's like, fine. And then we see him take out his phone. And so the people that we saw searching the boat were working for Raphael, not the police. And like, that's a small example. But like, there's lots of occasions where someone is like, yes, I'll work with you, or like, I'll do what you say.
And then they reveal it's like the reverse later on.
Yeah, where we go back and we see a conversation they had where they agreed to wear a wire or something. And it's the tension. It's so good.
I really like when shows do that. A show I've been watching sort of like as my, like, what's the word? Sort of like fast food television is what it's called, where it's just sort of like, I'm not there to actually watch it. It's mostly just background noise, but I'm invested in it. Is How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
And it does a similar thing with its format as well, where the concept of the show is it's a guy telling his kids how he met their mum. And so there'll be these little bits, though, where sometimes he'll like say, oh, and that comes up later on, and you'll see a scene And normally it's crazy. So like the one recent scene was like one of the main characters is like flipping over a table in a casino. It's like, and a bunch of guards sort of around him. And then the guy's like, but I'll come back to that later. And then it'll swap back to the main episode and like the main story.
It's much more mundane, yeah.
But then that will come back later. But they just sort of reference it in the future. I like, again, how all the characters sort of interlink. And they have a narrator who's not quite as good as this Jane the Virgin narrator sounds.
Yeah, Latin lover narrator.
A boring white dude. But it's pretty fun. And it's really exciting. And then another and the way you're talking about Jane the Virgin, it makes me want to watch Arrested Development again and watch the new season of Arrested Development. It's such a good comedy. It might be my favorite comedy, and there are some cracking jokes in it. I think the one that I hear all the time is "There's always money in the banana stand," and that's the favorite. That's my favorite joke, and it pays off in such the best way. I can't explain why. You have to watch it.
Is that the one where the woman says like, "How much could a banana cost? $10 or something like that"? Is that it?
Yeah, it's very much in sort of like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia style thing, where what if just all these people were awful?
What if everyone was simply horrible?
What if everyone was just stupid and a bad person?
Stupid and evil. It's like to run a fucking D&D game like that. What if like just everyone make a really evil but also just stupid character, and you're all gonna get into fights, and there will be like killing party members.
I think that'd be fun, like an Always Sunny D&D game.
It's like, where, like, fuck you,
there are collective. Kill. There are group sort of like things that you've got to get done, but also you're all in it for each other. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of just like, that would be good. And then
the thing with Jane the Virgin is that the cast is so small, right? It feels. You remember the La Ronde, right? The improv format, the La Ronde, right? Where you get
yes,
the cast lined up at the back of the stage, and then they each go in pairs. So you've got 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3, and then 3 and 4, and then 4 and 5, 5 and 6, 6 and 1. So everyone is in two. Sorry, I just hit my microphone there. Sorry, headphone users. Everyone is in 2 different relationships on stage, right? Not necessarily romantic relationships, but everyone has 2 different characters that they relate to. And Jane the Virgin, the cast is so small, everyone has to be multiple things. So, like, the doctor that artificially inseminates Jane is Raphael's sister, is, in love with this drug lord woman, is something else, and whenever they introduce actually a new character, it's always crazy, they are always so important, right? And it's just there's this brilliant like self-awareness, because it's made almost as a parody of telenovelas. Like, one of the people in the show is a telenovela actor, Rogelio de la Vega. He's brilliant. We love Rogelio.
That's a good name.
Rogelio has an alarm clock. And the alarm clock sings to him, and it's himself, and it says, "It's another beautiful day to be Rogelio, to be Rogelio." And it just reminding himself how beautiful he is brilliant. I love Rogelio.
I want one of those for myself.
It's another get one beautiful day to be Hambo, to be Hambo.
To be a Hambo. And just wake up and be like, yes, I am perfect.
It's a beautiful day to be me. Or there's I can't remember the context. They're arranging costumes for him, and he's like, "I don't have time. I have to spend time with my daughter. Get me anything, but not Peach. I don't pop in Peach." and it comes back a couple times, like, "You clearly do not know me. I do not pop in Peach."
There's something really good when shows do those subtle callbacks to something where you just go like, yes. Here's this thing, and like it's this it just comes up, and it feels like these are people, though they are caricatures, but they're people. Like, they have a consistency.
Yeah, like everything this man owns is lavender.
Wilkie, what would you give Jane the Virgin out of Bad to good.
I would give it a good. Like, I think you can probably tell I was ramping up to a good here.
Wookie, that's absolutely a great thing to build up to. Jane the Virgin sounds awesome, and I, much like Ghosts, will watch this eventually.
There's so much to watch. Like, it's weird. You'd think you'd have so much time to do things in, but the time just escapes.
The time just gets away from you, it leaves, but hopefully it'll all be good in the end.
It will. Everything will be good in the end.
In the end, it doesn't really good.
And speaking of endings, I think with that, we've come to the cliffhanger at the end of our show. One of us is pregnant. Find out who next episode. If you would like to find other episodes, we are available on all podcatchers. If we aren't available on your podcatcher of choice, you can use hashtag Boi Review on Twitter to bring your tweet to my attention, and I will bring it up on the show, unless you want to be anonymous, or if you don't want me to say it at all. We're also on YouTube. YouTube is especially good because you can find exclusive clips that we do not put in the main feed episodes occasionally. You can also find highlights from Twitch streams that we do at twitch.tv/Boi Review. We stream semi-regularly Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. UK time. Hambo normally streams Fortnite. We'd like to thank Storyblocks for our theme tune, World Goes Wild. You can find a link to them in maybe the episode description, maybe somewhere else, or just Google them. We're all tech literate these days, and I think that is it for today. In which case, it's a goodbye from me.
It's a goodbye from me.
And it's a good goodbye from us.
I'll fix that in post.